verses 6 to 7. Remember this, a farmer who plants only a few seeds will get a small crop, but the one who plants generously will get a generous crop. You must each decide in your heart how much to give, and don't give reluctantly or in response to pressure, for God loves a person who gives cheerfully. Blessed are the word of the Lord for the people of God.
Amen.
Church, extend out your hands. Father, we just lift up the subnet. We lift up the building, oh Father. We lift up this time to you right now, Father. We bless you with this building. Lord, we lift up the time, Father. May it go out of here freedom and bless. We found the lost, fix the broken, reconcile the broken families, oh Father. The lost, the blind, oh Father. May you just restore their lives, oh Father. Lift up all the children givers, oh Father. We thank you for their heart, oh Father. And may you just continue to bless them, oh Father. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Where's my giant slayers? Come on. You gotta be faster, you giant slayers. Anyway, there's people, there's giant slayers in the back. All right. So we not only invite here, we make them. All right. So extend out your hands. Father, I lift up these giants there, oh Father. May they lead the way, oh Father. May they be the next generation, oh Father. May they just go out there and preach the gospel in their lives, oh Father. May they lead their families to you, oh Father, Lord. And may you just take care of them, oh Father. Cover their heads with your blood, oh Father. May they be witnesses to your name. Amen. All right. All my XYZs. XYZs, we don't know what they're going to be yet. But I know it's going to be epic. There's one more back there. Pico. Come on. What are you doing back there? Sit up here. Andrew, can you pray?
Call, Lord, pray for generation, Lord. Pray that you continue to guide them, Lord. You give light to those around them, Lord, that fear, Lord. Just let them continue looking to you for answers, Lord, for guidance. Pray that they have humility, grace, Lord, and always love others and those ones. Protect them always. Thank you.
Amen. All right, so I was told to keep my sermon 5 minutes. So, but right now we have a testimonial. We'll take a couple. Anybody want to come up here and say anything? Bless the Lord, bless the people. Come on up. Amen. Awkward.
Come on, David.
I'm preaching today because it's his birthday. I just want to say thank you, Dad, for this loving God. And I thank God for giving you another year of your life. It has been, I mean, it's still not perfect, but where we are right now, I thank God for giving us where we are now, and I can never go back and live the way we were living. This man is a changed man, and he has a heart for you guys, for his people, and I thank God and continue to pray for him. I'm not putting him in pedestal, but I am putting God in pedestal for what he has done for him, and that he continue to bless him with his heart, that he may bless you guys. And I thank you, Daddy, for who you are in God. Love you, period.
Good morning, church. God is good. All the time. Amen. I just want to say happy birthday. I thank God for giving you such an awesome son-in-law. Amen. Thank you for always guiding the men. Just an example. For those who are able, reading will be Nehemiah 1:15. Stand. When Sanballat, Tobiah, Geshem, the Arab, and the rest of our enemies found out that I had finished rebuilding the wall and that no gaps remained, though we had not yet hung the doors and the gates, Sanballat and Geshem sent me a message asking me to meet them at one of the villages in the plain of Ono. But I realized they were plotting to harm me, so I replied by sending the message to them, I am doing a great work. I cannot stop to come to meet with you. 4 times they sent the same message, and each time I gave the same reply. The 5th time, Sanballat's servant came with an open letter in his hand, and this is what it said. Geshem tells me that everywhere he goes, he hears that you and the Jews are planning to rebel, and that is why you are building the wall. According to his reports, you plan to be their king. He also reports that you have appointed prophets to prophesy about you in Jerusalem, saying, look, there is a king in Judah. You can be very sure that this report will get back to the king, so I suggest that you come and talk it over with me. My reply was, you know you are lying. There is no truth in any part of your story. They were just trying to intimidate us, imagining that they could break our resolve and stop the work, so I prayed for strength to continue the work. Later I went to visit Shemaiah, son of Eliah and grandson of Nedabel, who was confined to his home. He said, let us meet together inside the temple of God and hold the doors shut. Your enemies are coming to kill you tonight. But I replied, should someone in my position run away from danger? Should someone in my position enter the temple to save his life? No, I won't do it. I realized that God had not spoken to him, but that he had uttered his prophecy against me because Tobiah and Sanballat had hired him. They were hoping to intimidate me and make me sin by following his suggestion. Then they would be able to accuse and discredit me. Remember, oh my God, all the evil things that Tobiah and Sanballat have done, and remember Noadiah, the prophet, and all the prophets like her who have tried to intimidate me. So on October 2nd, the wall was finally finished, just 52 days after we had begun. Let's pray. The Father, Lord, thank you for this wonderful day. Just pray for you. Quiet our minds and open our ears and our hearts, Lord, to the message, Lord. Pray for Pastor. Allow him to be used, Lord, to amplify your message. Thank you.
Amen. October 2nd, huh? Our anniversary is October 8th. So just about the right time. Can you guys hear me okay? Yep. Father, may I decrease and you increase in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. All right. All right. So I got set up today. Must be my birthday. I knew something's up. This is the only time my wife lies to me. And a couple other times. But this is the main thing. I love you, baby. I know it when she's planning something, and when I said don't, she goes, oh, I'm not doing anything. And then her phone just blows up. So, amen. Thank you all for coming. Hey, Pa, Mama, throw that baby, all everybody. I'm forgetting names. I get nervous. I always get nervous. I do this every Sunday, but I get nervous. All right. So I want to point out two things here at the beginning, okay? First, the last part of the text in 14. It says, remember Tobiah and Sanballat, my God, because of what they have done. Remember also the prophet Noadiah and how she and the rest of the prophets had been trying to intimidate me. So the wall was completed on the 25th of Elul in 52 days. That's October 5th, 2nd. It says in the Bible, it says, who disobeys is his enemy. Right? So Nehemiah had an enemy here. In fact, three of them. Sanballat, Tobiah, Geshem, the Arab, and then many more that came alongside these three clans. Right? It's funny the way God just does it in numbers. There's three enemies. 3 times he asked Peter. Trinity. So there's a message in that 3. Okay? So that's what I wanted to point out. The other thing is, he's bold enough to say, remember my enemies. He didn't condemn them. He had a heart still for his enemies. He did not condemn them. He says, remember them, O Lord. Remember what they have done to me. And he said, remember what they have done to your servant. Remember what they have done to your church. That's what he's saying. Because the wall was not Nehemiah's idea. It was God's idea. He sent Nehemiah to build it. Right? The other thing I want to point out is the enemy here, you're going to see, it's not just Sanballat, Tobiah, and Geshem. It's actually the person that we call us. Because us don't want to change. We want to be the old. Now, look at Nehemiah. He was a cupbearer. When he found the Lord, he became and accepted to build the wall, and then he became a governor. He became the builder of the wall. For 12 years, he was the builder. And that's all he did. Remember what he says? He says, I am building something. I am building a wall. Nothing should take me away from that. And here it is, the enemies are trying to shift them. In fact, they're trying to intimidate them. The priest, he said, come to the church, we'll lock the doors. And what he was saying is, I want you to fear these guys. They will destroy you. What did Nehemiah say? Nope, I'm going to face them head on. Because I got God with me. See, he changed from a cupbearer to a faithful lover of God. God blessed him, gave him full authority over the church, the builders of the wall, made him a governor, made him the same level as his enemies, so he could fight with them. Same equipment, same shield, same spears, same swords. He did not lack to defend himself towards his enemy. God provided. Okay? We good with that? Amen? Psalms 83. This is going to appear in our message often in this message. Psalm 83. God's enemies are stirred up, conspiring against his people. They look for ways to completely destroy Israel as a nation, to obliterate God's people. So instead of taking vengeance in their own hands, God's people prayed and asked God to deal with these enemies. Right? Instead of them taking their own actions, they prayed over their enemies, and then God provided a solution. In the armies, in the Old Testament, God would provide armies. Remember the 300 Gideon? There was thousands. And then God only picked out the 300 to fend off the enemies. And then when they fended off the enemies, it wasn't even swords and spears. They used pots and pans. They used pots and pans in the dark, and then the enemy thought they were being attacked, so they killed each other in the dark. 300. God will deal with our enemies. But we have to pray over them, and we have to give them to God. We don't condemn them. We pray. Remember my enemies. He says, God, remember them so they may not falter anymore, so that they may be saved. Amen? How do we defend ourselves from the enemy? First, know the enemy is, who the enemy is, and what they are doing. Knowing the enemy, verse 1. Look at Nehemiah. When the word came to Sanballat, Tobiah, Geshem, and of Arab, and the rest of our enemies, that I had rebuilt the wall, and not a gap was left in it, though up at that time I had not set the doors and gates, Sanballat and Geshem sent me this message, come, let us meet together in one of the villages on the plain of Ono. But they were scheming to harm me. Okay? What type of an enemy you got to look at? Enemy defined: a foe, an adversary. A private enemy is one who hates another, wishes injury, or attempts to do him injury to gratify his own malice or ill will. Public enemy or foe is one who belongs to a nation or a party at war with another. Nehemiah's enemy first starts out to be a private enemy. Then when they went against God, they became a public enemy. Right? Now when it becomes the enemy of God, what lies behind is Satan. John 10:10. The thief's purpose is to steal and kill and destroy. My purpose is to give them rich and satisfying life. Now, the other translation, it says, I came to give life, comma, abundant life. Do not put a comma, do not put a period where God places a comma. That's our problem. We justify, we put a period. We have this thing going on. I love you, period. It is not I love you with a period. It is I love you written out with period and no punctuation after that. But what that is, it's a comma. It's not, it's love, I love you, period is this. I love you no matter what. I love you, it doesn't matter if you don't tell me I love you back. I love you. It doesn't change the way I love you. God did that, right? He says, you do whatever you want. You could sin against me. You could go into this world, but I will still die for you. I will still provide for you. He says, for all, Gentiles and Jews. So the problem here is this. The enemy of Nehemiah is not Sanballat. He's conquered them already. The enemy that he conquered was himself. He could have denied away from being a cupbearer to building a wall. He knew what was going to happen. You remember when he got called by the Lord? He started to weep. And then he prayed. And then the Lord gave him. And then he got the boldness and said, give me all the proper documents to do this. And the governor, the king, gave it all to him. And he even sent an army with him to build the wall. Now, 12 years later, he's done. The wall is built. The gates are not there. Okay? He hasn't put up the gates yet. Right? So, 5 times, the enemy keeps sending him something. Come meet with us. Come meet with us. Right? He knew he had a purpose. Right? He had a purpose, and his purpose was to build that wall. Nothing else. Nothing distracted him from it. Why would I go over there if I'm building a wall? That's not what God told me. What they were trying to do is they were trying to get him off his game. Come here while he travels, let's kill him. Nobody be the wiser. We'll just say marauding people, tribes, was coming down and they killed them. So nobody is the wiser, right? I didn't kill him. It was, I don't know, some type of, or They wanted to come up there and distract them from the wall. So back then, there's no Uber, there's no yellow cab, there's no hey bro pick me up, there's no bus, there's no Amtrak. You know, they have to walk, right? So what they were probably going to do is they were probably going to set up a meeting where he has to walk. And not just walk, he's going to have to bring his army with him. Guess what? The wall is opened up. The enemy comes in, sweeps it in, destroys whatever they need. So what Nehemiah says, no, I'm staying right here. My people stay right here. We're finishing what God has started in me. When you guys lose faith in someone, when you guys lose faith in you, when you guys lose faith in your situation, pray this with me. Let thy will finish. Let thy will finish. What we do is we put a period where God put a comma. Right? Again, God's enemies are stirred up, conspiring against his people. They look for ways to completely destroy Israel's nation, to obliterate God's people. So instead of taking vengeance in their own hands, God's people will pray and ask God to deal with these enemies. Thus lies the call for the believer. We as a believer must pray for this world. We as a believer must pray for those in need. Right? Nehemiah was obedient to the word of God. He was focused and determined to finish his commission for God. Nothing was going to stop him, he says in verse 3. So I sent messengers to them with this reply. I am carrying on a great project. I cannot go down. Why should the work stop while I leave it to go down to you? 4 times they sent me the same message. Each time I gave them the same answer. They're mad. He's not just completing it. He's disobedient. We are governors. But Nehemiah is also governor. So he could say that. Now, if he was lower than a governor, guess what? The governors that was trying to deal with him will go and kill him. No questions asked. But God made him a governor too. You can't touch me. I'm the same as you. See how God just puts everything together? The enemies are insistent. They want it, do it. Nehemiah was cordial. He gave them that response each time. 4 times they sent me the same message, and each time I gave them the same answer. Then the 5th time, Sanballat sent his abide to me with the same message. In his hand was an unsealed letter in which was written. Right? It is reported among nations. This is what is written. It is reported among nations, and Geshem, it says it's true, that you and the Jews are plotting to revolt, and therefore you are building the wall. Moreover, according to these reports, you are about to become their king, and have been appointed prophets to make this proclamation about you in Jerusalem. There is a king in Judah. Now this report will give back to the king, so come, let us meet together. Bunch of liars. Right? Enemies lie to you. They tell you that's good. It's actually bad. It's the bad advice of a friend who's only bad. This is advice of a person about to harm another. Right? What a liar. First of all, was Nehemiah trying to be a king? What was he doing? Building a simple wall for God. As you know, that wall, that Jerusalem, Jesus will come. The Son of God will come and be crucified. He's going to walk through those gates. That's why he's being rebuilt. God knew what was about to happen. He was building a wall to save the people. So blasphemy is stopping the work of God. is unforgivables. And that's what Nehemiah would do, is pray. Remember my enemies, so they will not be blasphemed. So they will be saved too. But keep them from harming anybody here. Amen? Now Nehemiah was a righteous man. He focused on God. He ignored their letters of invite. I believe sent out replies from his messengers back to them, but was not good enough. Here is Nehemiah's claim to their charges against him and their threats. Nehemiah explained plans of the enemy to all builders of the wall. He says to the enemy, I sent this reply. Nothing like what you are saying is happening. You are just making it up of your head, out of your head. They were all trying to frighten us, thinking their hands will get too weak for the work and it will not be completed. But I pray, now strengthen my hands. What a beautiful prayer. He told his people, he says, hey, don't be discouraged. These people are meant to destroy the wall builders. They're meant to destroy the church. Let's pray to strengthen our hands. Look, we are now going on 9 months. This year, we doubled the numbers. We doubled the service. It's awesome, man. It's awesome. Then he took it to God. Verse 9. But I prayed, now strengthen my hands. One day I went up to the house of Shem, the son of Deliah, the son of Mehetabel, who was shut at his home, and said, let us meet in the house of God inside the temple. Let us close the temple doors, because men are coming to kill you. By night they are coming to kill you. What a liar. He got paid. Go and get with Nehemiah. Who got paid for Jesus Christ? Who did the enemy pay to turn over Jesus Christ? Judas. Remember that? Judas, Jesus Christ said to Judas, go and do what you must. He already knew what was happening. He already knew what was happening to Jesus Christ. Here, Nehemiah already knew what was happening. He said, whoa, wait a minute. God will not put fear in my heart. He will put courage and boldness to face my unknowns. He did not build me to be weak. He built me to be more than confident. He gave me victory. Why would I go, lock myself up, listen to you? God didn't even talk to you. Why would I lock those doors? No. I'm going to come up, and I'm going to man up and face that enemy. Because they have nothing against me. Isn't that awesome? When you are not guilty, you can do two things. You can come up to your enemy and forgive him and walk away. You could not even respond to your enemy because it is for their good. For me, I won't respond to my enemy because I will probably, if I walk up to them, I will probably knock their head off because I am that weak. So silence is gold for me. Amen? Let me tell you a story real quick. I got Don over here. Is that the car I ran into? I was sleeping in the pilot, and Don was singing for the first time, and you guys been to the solo. And he was fired up, man. Brand new car. Brand new car. And it was black. It's dark. And I was sleepy, and I put it in the first. Next thing you know, crunch! And I went to go get him and say, hey, Don, bro, I hit your car. No way, dude. And he's laughing. Oh, that's funny, man. No, really, I hit your car. You know what he said?
He said, why is it funny?
I got insurance. I said, amen. But I felt real bad. What I'm saying is here, God will provide if you face up to you. God will give you the strength. He will give you people. He will give you resources. All you have to do is put the first step up and say, here I am. Amen? Here's the reaction that God was looking for in Nehemiah. Give it to me, for it is my enemy now, and I will surely deal with it. We can act on our thoughts. This is the easy part. The hard part is how we react. Right? Every time we do something, we act. But if it doesn't go our way, what is the reaction? Does it fall you back? Or does it send you forward into the concrete God's kingdom? Do you say, I don't trust you no more, Lord, or I'm going to continue to trust you? Do I walk through the valley of death? Amen? He glanced at his problem and gazed at God's face. React. It is our reaction that matters when a situation of hate appears. Amen? Nehemiah gave it to God, then check his motives. Are they true? Always check your motives. Laying of hands doesn't mean pummeling the people. Laying of hands and praying over them. Okay? It's not, right? It says that. May we lay hands on them. Amen? I'm almost done. 2 Corinthians 12:9. But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore I will boast all the more gladly about my weaknesses, so that Christ's power may rest on me. I heard this one time, sermon just the other day. He says, the reason why we struggle is so we can stay in reliance to God.